Hollywood has always celebrated excess, louder performances, faster edits, bigger spectacle. But every once in a while, a figure emerges who proves that restraint can be just as powerful. Robert Redford was that figure. He didn't dominate the screen by force. He held it through intelligence, stillness, and conviction. In an era of chaos and cultural change, Redford became the face of thoughtful American cinema, a leading man who asked questions instead of giving easy answers. For decades, his presence shaped how stories were told. Not just what audiences watched, but how they watched, with patience, curiosity, and trust. As an actor, he embodied the moral tension of his time. As a director, he proved silence could be cinematic. As a mentor and founder of Sundance, he gave power back to storytellers who had no voice. Robert Redford didn't just succeed within Hollywood. He challenged it, reshaped it, and then stepped away once the work was done. In September 2025, his life reached its final chapter. But his influence did not end there. Because some legacies don't fade, they continue to guide, inspire, and redefine what cinema can be. This is not a memorial. This is a celebration of a man who proved that integrity can outlast fame, and that true impact is measured not by applause, but by what remains after the spotlight moves on. This is Cinema Uncovered, and this is the enduring legacy of Robert Redford. Before Robert Redford became a symbol of American cinema, he was something far less certain. A young man searching for direction. Born on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California, Charles Robert Redford Jr. grew up far from the glamour that would later define his image. His father worked as an accountant, and his upbringing was modest, shaped by discipline rather than indulgence. Redford's early life was marked by contradiction. He was athletic, artistic, and intelligent, yet deeply restless. After the death of his mother when he was still young, that restlessness turned into rebellion. He struggled in school, drank heavily, and drifted without purpose. College came and went. A baseball scholarship was lost. Expectations collapsed. But what looked like failure was actually escape. Redford left America and traveled through Europe, living simply and surviving on odd jobs. In Paris, he painted, observed people, and absorbed culture. He wasn't chasing an acting career. He was discovering a worldview. Those years away from Hollywood shaped everything that followed. They taught him independence, skepticism of authority, and the value of quiet observation, traits that would later define his screen presence. When Robert Redford returned home, he didn't come back as a star in waiting. He returned as an artist, and that made all the difference. When Robert Redford decided to pursue acting, success did not come easily. In fact, for years, Hollywood didn't know what to do with him. He studied at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and worked wherever he could, live television dramas, theater productions, and Broadway stages. He was disciplined, committed, and serious about craft, but casting directors saw only his appearance. Too handsome, too clean, too safe. Redford was often dismissed as a pretty face, a leading man without depth. It was a label that frustrated him, and one he quietly prepared to destroy. Throughout the early 1960s, he built his reputation the slow way, sharpening his instincts in live television and stage performances. He learned timing, restraint, and how to communicate emotion without excess, skills that would later become his trademark. His first major film opportunity came with Inside Daisy Clover in 1965. The film failed, and so did the expectations surrounding him. For many actors, this would have been the end. For Redford, it was a test. Instead of chasing stardom, he doubled down on control, choosing roles carefully, pushing for characters with intelligence and ambiguity. He wanted stories that reflected real people, not studio fantasies. Then came 1969, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Paired with Paul Newman, Redford's quiet confidence balanced Newman's charisma perfectly. As the Sundance Kid, he wasn't loud or flashy. He was observant, dangerous, and magnetic. Audiences responded instantly. The film became a massive success, and Robert Redford became a star, not because Hollywood manufactured him, but because viewers believed him. After years of rejection and mislabeling, Redford didn't just arrive. He arrived on his own terms. 1970s were a turning point for American cinema. Audiences no longer trusted simple heroes or clean victories. The country was grappling with political scandal, war, and cultural change, and Hollywood began reflecting that uncertainty on screen. Robert Redford became the perfect leading man for that moment. Unlike traditional movie stars, Redford didn't project dominance or bravado. He projected thoughtfulness. His characters listened, questioned, and resisted systems that felt larger than themselves. In The Candidate, in 1972, Redford portrayed a man who enters politics with idealism, only to be consumed by the machinery of power. The film felt uncomfortably real, and that was its strength. That same year, Jeremiah Johnson showed a completely different side of him, a man isolated in the wilderness, stripped of society, forced to survive on will alone. It was quiet, physical, and deeply symbolic of American individualism. Then came the films that cemented his legacy. In 3 Days of the Condor, Redford embodied paranoia and intelligence in a world of surveillance and secrecy. In All the President's Men, he portrayed journalist Bob Woodward, helping expose the Watergate scandal, a film that turned investigative journalism into cinematic heroism. Redford wasn't playing fantasy figures. He was playing Americans trying to understand a broken system. By the mid-1970s, Robert Redford wasn't just one of the biggest stars in the world. He was the most trusted. His presence signaled seriousness, credibility, and relevance. He didn't escape the decade. He defined it. While many remember Robert Redford for his effortless charm on screen, the man behind the camera has an equally compelling story. Redford's journey from actor to director wasn't just a career pivot. It was a bold declaration that he wanted to shape cinema from his own lens. Redford made his directorial debut with Ordinary People in 1980, a film that surprised critics and audiences alike. On the surface, it's a story about a seemingly perfect family unraveling in the aftermath of tragedy. But Redford's keen eye for subtle human emotion elevated it into something profound, a study of grief, guilt, and the quiet resilience of the human spirit. It was a deeply personal film, reflecting his fascination with the complexity of ordinary lives. The industry took notice. Redford won the Academy Award for Best Director for his very first effort, a feat few have accomplished. What set Redford apart as a director was his actor-first approach. Unlike many directors who focus heavily on technical prowess or visual spectacle, Redford always prioritized performance. Actors frequently praised his calm, encouraging presence on set. He believed that a character's inner truth was far more compelling than flashy camera work. His directorial style was understated, intimate, and empathetic, a mirror of his own on-screen persona, but with the added depth of someone willing to explore the shadows of human emotion. After Ordinary People, Redford continued to explore themes of human fragility and resilience. Films like A River Runs Through It, 1992, and Quiz Show, 1994, showcased his versatility as a director. In A River Runs Through It, he captured the breathtaking Montana landscape, but was a nuanced family dynamics that resonated most with viewers. Meanwhile, Quiz Show dissected the moral compromises behind America's television culture of the 1950s, revealing Redford's ability to merge historical context with intimate character storytelling. Interestingly, Redford's directorial philosophy often intersected with his passion for the environment and social issues. In projects like The Horse Whisperer, 1998, he wove together personal stories with the natural world, highlighting his reverence for both human and ecological narratives. This approach not only defined his films, but also reinforced his broader mission: to create cinema that matters, that challenges audiences to feel, think, and reflect. Despite his acclaim as a director, Redford never abandoned acting entirely. He often balanced both roles, understanding that each informed the other. His time in front of the camera gave him empathy for actors' struggles, while his directorial ventures allowed him to craft stories he felt deeply connected to, stories that went beyond stardom, stories that lingered. In many ways, Robert Redford's directorial career was a natural extension of his personal ethos, understated yet impactful, grounded yet aspirational. Whether guiding actors through emotional terrain or capturing the quiet poetry of everyday life, Redford proved that true artistry isn't just about being seen. It's about making others feel seen. While Robert Redford's on-screen and directorial achievements are legendary, his most enduring legacy might lie beyond Hollywood entirely, in the snow-covered mountains of Utah. In 1981, Redford founded the Sundance Institute, an organization dedicated to supporting independent filmmakers. What began as a retreat for creative minds has since grown into the Sundance Film Festival, the most prestigious platform for indie cinema in the United States. Redford's vision was clear. He wanted to give voice to stories that might never find a home in the traditional studio system. He understood the struggles of actors, writers, and directors who dare to challenge norms and tell unconventional stories. Independent films, often dismissed as risky or unprofitable, needed champions. Redford became that champion, not through flashy marketing, but through dedication, mentorship, and a deep respect for artistic integrity. The Sundance Film Festival quickly became a cultural force. It launched careers of filmmakers who would go on to reshape modern cinema. Names like Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh, and Alexander Payne. What made Sundance unique wasn't just the exposure. It was the spirit Redford fostered. The festival encouraged experimentation, authenticity, and storytelling that dared to diverge from mainstream expectations. It became a sanctuary for voices that might otherwise go unheard. Redford's commitment went beyond just creating a festival. He was hands-on, often personally meeting filmmakers, offering guidance, and sometimes investing in projects he believed in. His philosophy mirrored his directing style, subtle but impactful, supportive but challenging. He didn't want to impose his vision. He wanted to amplify others. Through Sundance, Redford also brought attention to socially conscious filmmaking. Documentaries, environmental stories, and films addressing civil rights found a platform under his watch. He recognized that cinema wasn't just entertainment. It could educate, provoke, and inspire change. The festival became a place where audiences discovered films that didn't just entertain, but also made them question, reflect, and empathize. Perhaps most importantly, Sundance allowed Redford to redefine what it meant to be a Hollywood icon. He wasn't content to rest on past glories or box office hits. Instead, he invested in the future of cinema, ensuring that innovation and artistry had a home. His work behind the scenes revealed a side of Redford rarely seen on screen. The mentor, the visionary, and the tireless advocate for storytelling in its purest form. By the turn of the 21st century, the Sundance Film Festival had become synonymous with independent cinema, and Redford's name with integrity and creative courage. He had transformed the landscape of film, not just as an actor or director, but as a guardian of stories that mattered. In doing so, he cemented his role not only in Hollywood history, but in the hearts of filmmakers and audiences who crave originality over formula and truth over spectacle. Robert Redford's legacy, therefore, isn't confined to his performances or awards. It lives in every indie film that challenges conventions, in every filmmaker who dares to dream outside the studio system, and in every audience member who discovers something authentic, raw, and unforgettable at Sundance. As the decades rolled on, Robert Redford transitioned gracefully from Hollywood's golden leading man to a figure of enduring influence. By the 1980s and 1990s, he had stepped back from blockbuster stardom, choosing roles that reflected his personal interests and artistic sensibilities. Films like The Natural, 1984, and A River Runs Through It, 1992, showcase his continued ability to embody complex, quietly heroic characters, men who were reflective, morally grounded, and subtly charismatic. Redford's screen presence had matured. He no longer needed to chase fame. He could command attention with a simple glance or gesture, yet his contributions extended far beyond performance. Redford became a tireless advocate for environmental causes, particularly wilderness preservation and sustainable living. His work with organizations like the Natural Resources Defense Council and initiatives supporting clean energy revealed a commitment to protecting the planet, a theme that often subtly appeared in his films. For Redford, storytelling and activism were intertwined. Both could awaken awareness and inspire change. Redford also remained committed to mentoring emerging talent. Through the Sundance Institute, he continued to champion new voices, fostering a culture of innovation and authenticity in filmmaking. Even as the industry shifted toward franchises and high-concept spectacles, Redford remained a symbol of integrity, a reminder that cinema could be both meaningful and artistic. In his later acting roles, Redford often embraced characters that reflected his own life stage, wise, reflective, sometimes weary, but always compelling. Films like The Horse Whisperer, 1998, and All Is Lost, 2013, highlighted a remarkable ability to convey emotion with minimal dialogue, relying on subtle expression and the weight of presence. In All Is Lost, for instance, he delivered a near-solo performance, demonstrating that even decades into his career, Redford could command the screen with nothing but sheer acting skill and physicality. Beyond the screen, Redford's legacy is also cultural. He redefined the idea of a Hollywood icon, not as someone who merely entertains, but as someone who nurtures creativity, advocates for change, and inspires future generations. His influence is felt in independent cinema, environmental activism, and even the broader artistic community that values courage, vision, and authenticity over commercial expedience. As he stepped away from frequent acting roles, Robert Redford became, in many ways, an elder statesman of American film, a figure whose choices, both on and off screen, illustrate a lifetime of dedication to artistry, integrity, and social responsibility. He proved that true legacy is measured not in box office numbers or accolades, but in the stories one helps bring to life, the artists one nurtures, and the audiences one moves. Decades into his career, Robert Redford remains a touchstone for both Hollywood and independent film, a man who transformed the art of acting, directing, and film advocacy, leaving a mark that will resonate long after credits roll. Interesting trivia about him. Robert Redford was born on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California. Before acting, he studied journalism and political science and briefly worked as a cartoonist. He was originally a ballet student, which helped him develop the grace and physicality that became a hallmark of his performances. Redford turned down roles in major films like The Godfather. He was offered a role of Michael Corleone, which ultimately went to Al Pacino. He won his first Academy Award for directing Ordinary People, 1980, making him one of the few actors to win an Oscar for directing on a debut film. Redford is a founder of the Sundance Film Festival, which started as a small initiative and grew into the premier platform for independent films worldwide. He has a deep connection with nature and environmental causes, founding initiatives to protect wilderness areas and advocating for clean energy. In All Is Lost, 2013, Redford gave a near-solo performance with almost no dialogue, proving his power as an actor even in his late 70s. He is a supporter of politically and socially conscious storytelling, often choosing films that explore human morality, justice, and integrity. Despite decades in Hollywood, Redford has consistently avoided tabloid culture, maintaining a reputation for privacy, professionalism, and mentorship. Robert Redford's journey through Hollywood is more than a story of fame. It's a testament to artistry, integrity, and vision, from his iconic roles on screen to his award-winning work behind the camera. From championing independent filmmakers to protecting the natural world, Redford has continually reshaped what it means to leave a legacy. He proved that true greatness isn't measured by box office numbers or headline moments, but by the stories you tell, the people you inspire, and the impact you leave on generations to come. Whether as an actor, director, or visionary founder of the Sundance Film Festival, Robert Redford's influence continues to ripple through cinema, reminding us that film can entertain, challenge, and transform. In the world of storytelling, Robert Redford is more than a star. He is a guiding light, a mentor, and a legend whose work will continue to inspire audiences and filmmakers for decades to come.